Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Abbi Whitaker joins us, the head of the Abbi Agency, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Hello, is this D&D Roofing?
Yes, it is. How may I help you?
You did such a great job on my roof. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner.
Oh, can I speak to your supervisor?
Sure.
How may I help you?
I love your work. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner. We're all owners. Well, that's why at D&D we work so hard to keep your home safe and sound.
Oh, no wonder.
D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal. Local, employee-owned, here for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program Abbi Whitaker, along with her husband Ty. She owns the Abbi Agency. Pleasure to have you back on the program.
Hello, Sam Shad. It's lovely to see you today.
And it's a huge boost in our ratings because every time you're on, the numbers just go through the roof.
You should be my PR agent. Look at you. I love it. Thank you.
Wanted to start out on a serious note today.
Yeah.
We're taping this on the morning of March 7th.
Yep.
And as we've been reading all weekend, the war in Ukraine goes on. You have a special interest in this that you've been writing about on Facebook. You have 5 web designers over in Ukraine.
5 front and back end folks that have been with us, some up to 5.5 years, that are in the Ukraine right now. Luckily, a couple we've been able to get out, or are out, but they're still, they're in the every morning when they send me a note. It starts with "I'm alive today." But we were hit by shells last night. I spent the night laying on the floor. I spent the night in the basement. It's really it's rough. And my heart just aches for them because there's not a lot right now until we can get them out of the country, which most 4 of them are guys. They can't, it's illegal for them to leave.
Right.
So luckily, some of them were able to get out of the cities. So I got some news today that Yevhen is out of Kharkiv. I think I might be saying that wrong. The second largest city in the Ukraine on the Russian border. He's out and he's in a smaller city now with his parents in a gymnasium, in a school, and he feels safe. So that was like blessings, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things that in a world where we expect Amazon to deliver the package in an hour, let alone the next day, this is not going to end tomorrow.
It is. That is the hardest part, I think, for them is, though right now it's like, how do I survive? How do I get food? How do I get out of the bombing? We know that no matter where you go, the end is nowhere in sight. And for people that have grown up mostly free, I mean, our guys are young, right? They're all under 30. They don't really remember the USSR, but their parents do. And I think they're just so afraid of what's to come.
turning to the United States, it seems like we finally have an issue we can be united on.
I hope so. You know, I feel there are still those fringe folks that seem to be like, go Putin, but I do feel like you're seeing everybody come together because, I mean, people do, the war in Europe, World War II is something, you know, we learned a lot about and we all have historical knowledge of, and seeing tanks roll into a European country makes us remember, like, this doesn't need to happen again. So you do see people come together, and I hope we can continue to see that because we need to support our friends in the Ukraine. A lot of American companies, there's 200,000 back-end dev developers that work for American companies in the Ukraine. It is our job to take care of them, and it's our job to support them, but as a country, I really see us coming together and united over supporting the folks there, and it's good.
The last time we saw something like this in that part of the world was the Balkan War.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised that we haven't heard more from former President Clinton.
Yeah, I actually, you know what, that is a really, really good point because they went through all of that. I don't know if they're just like, we're gonna stay out, our opinion isn't really valid right now. I think you're seeing, you know, a lot of the leaders do what they can with the sanctions, but I'm curious to see what they're gonna do next because like you said, this is just the beginning. We're a couple weeks into this. It seems like Russia's getting closer to taking the capital city now. I mean, at least that's what I read this morning on my way over. So, I mean, hopefully we'll see more people weigh in, and we truly, truly, I will say I am so proud of all the businesses from BP, I mean, to clothing companies, to Starbucks, to MasterCard, to Visa, to Apple Pay, to Google Pay, being like, no. But we also have to remember that a lot of Russians are not in support of this war. One of our developers is married to a Russian lady and his stepdaughter is Russian. And I mean, they are so against this. So we have to remember that as well. It's mostly the folks up top. And unfortunately, it seems like they're a little unhinged lately.
It's always the politicians that take us to war, and it's only the politicians that can end the war. Yeah. It's not the generals.
No.
But I think everybody's thoughts are with Ukraine at this point in time.
Yeah, thank you. And we are having a fundraiser on March 19th from 2 to 4 at the Village at Ranchera. It's going to be, we've got a lot of great silent auction prizes, raffle prizes, and all the money will go through the Northern Nevada International Center to nonprofits in the Ukraine. So they will be the conduit to that. So I think we're all feeling like, what can we do? Well, you know, raising money for the humanitarian effort is something that we can do. So 2 to 4, March 19th, Village at Ranchera. Would love to see some folks come.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about other topics. Not as crazy, but still a little crazy.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Events Center in Las Vegas. Host meetings and events on 2 floors. Stay in luxurious rooms and suites. Unlimited branding opportunities. Regional Italian cuisine by Chef Mark Segrisi. Flexible event spaces. Full buyout options. Visit ahernhotel.com today.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
I'm Jeff Gehrman, an investigative reporter with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I'm your guide for Season 2 of Mobbed Up, The Fight for Las Vegas.
You're in with every gangster and hoodlum in the United States.
I don't go for that, Mr. Kennedy. I don't go for that kind of action.
I was on television accused of fronting for the mob.
Subscribe to Mobbed Up, The Fight for Las Vegas, Season 2, today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you. But we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Abbi Whitaker. She is the head of the Abbi Agency. at a time when we are just going through such an incredible boom in northern Nevada. I mean, we're a shining example of diversification, but at the same time, we're seeing homelessness all over the city, and we're seeing, if you go out to the Bay Area, I've talked about this on the show several times, the homelessness in California is so sad.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on, is there a place that we can look to as a model to say, this is, how we solve this?
Oh my gosh, wow. I was thinking about that because I thought we might talk about that today, and I just don't know what the answer is. I will tell you what I'm most concerned about right now, though. Definitely the homeless issue and getting some of those folks off the street onto the CARES campus, very important. The working poor is really what I'm most concerned about. So I know some folks, right? Both of them work. They pay $2,000 a month for their apartment. Their electricity bill this month was $400. They make minimum wage. They have worked their entire life. They're hardworking, and they are barely making it. So I am really, really concerned about those folks that have been in Nevada a long time. How are they going to be able to make it without the supply and the inventory? I mean, I think for a metro of our size, 500,000, you need to put 600,000 new units on the market every year. 4 single family, 2 multifamily, 4,000, 2,000. And I think last year we were around 2,500 new permits. That's really, really scary. So I don't see any relief in sight until we can figure out how to get more inventory on the market. And unfortunately, skilled labor, permitting takes a long time. There's no finger to point anywhere at this point. I think we have to stop saying, well, you should have approved this, you should have done that. Believe me, I want to do that sometimes.
Right.
You know I do. But we have to work together to really, we have a lot of funds coming into the city. I saw the governor, there was a large, I think 40 million or something for land down south for affordable workforce housing. I want to see that up north because it's more expensive up here than it is down south. And our people that work really, really hard are not going to be able to make it, and we need to start focusing on them.
Well, and one of the other things is that California continues
they love it here.
to just put in so much regulation and taxation that these people with money, you saw the numbers out of Tahoe in the last couple of weeks.
Yes, it is the #1 destination now for the 1%, right? It's I don't know how we've stayed a secret for so long. Not only, do we have a favorable tax structure, but we are gorgeous. And Washoe Valley is beautiful, it's proximity to Lake Tahoe, all the most mountainous state in the lower 48. That's what Nevada is. We have more mountains than any other state in the lower 48.
I think we have a slogan.
Oh, you know it. We're epic here, and the secret is out, but we've got to really, really work on taking care of folks that have been here for a long time and are really kind of, like in some of the more mountain towns like Telluride, Steamboat, Breckenridge, you're starting to see people living in their cars 100 miles away that are actually providing the services. So restaurants are only open 1 day a week. Coffee shops are closing down entirely. We cannot let that happen here. We cannot let it become where our businesses cannot thrive because we do not have the places for them to live that are affordable.
Okay, so does that make it incumbent upon businesses to put aside money to provide for housing?
No, I don't know. That's a great question. I think, at the Abbi Agency, I'm like, if you want to buy a house, let me know. I can help you with your down payment, things like that. I'm a small business. I'm nimble. I can do those things. But at the end of the day, I believe that every city is dealing with this. We are not the only one, right? But we have to get more product online. So maybe we have to have, less single family zoning and more multifamily dwellings. Maybe we have to really embrace some of the infill projects, right? Such as Talus Valley, formerly known as Daybreak, my project, 4,000 homes. That had a tough time getting through city council. And now, we're getting our tentative maps. We're getting there, but it has taken a long, long time. If that could have gotten through when it needed to, we would probably have an extra 2,000 homes on the market right now.
It's been interesting over the years watching Nevada. The legislators, really the Clark County Commission, who pushed through the 215 that goes around the valley, the folks in northern Nevada that pushed through the McCarran Boulevard, which a lot of people back then didn't want that to go all the way around. Can you imagine where we would be in both ends of the state if those ring roads had not been built? So it takes a tremendous amount of courage for people in office to fight the people who want it to be the way it was 20 years ago.
Well, because those people already have their homes and they're already seeing their appreciation, and they think that that open space should be where they get to walk their dog. Well, I'm sorry, that's not true. That open space is not public land, it's private land, and we need to put homes on there so Nevadans can stay. You know, I've lost a lot of employees to other places right now, and to be honest with you, I've started hiring employees in other places because it's so hard for them to survive and thrive here, even making $75,000 and $80,000 a year. So that is the biggest challenge that we are going to have, is our creative class, right? Those folks that are graduating from UNR, keeping them here and finding a way so that they can survive and thrive in the place that they love. We just don't want folks, God bless the folks from out of town, you know, I'm not anti out of town at all. I fully understand, you know, about growth, but we have to make sure that we're providing entry-level housing for folks to own a house here, because home ownership is the easiest way to accumulate wealth and security. And obviously rent is more than owning a home now, so.
And it's not just creative people. I mean, you know, we're training doctors and nurses.
Absolutely. When I creative class, I shouldn't, you're right.
No, it's fine. I'm just broadening it
Absolutely.
to say that, you know, it's not just people who are creative. We need to have doctors and nurses be able to afford to live here.
Teachers.
As they pay off their, absolutely.
Teachers, what happens when teachers can't afford to live here anymore? I mean, right? You're already seeing Washoe County School District having a tough time hiring bus drivers. It's competitive here now. So soon people will leave and go to those. For a while it was, let's move to San Francisco to Austin. Then it was like, Austin's too expensive. Let's move to Spokane. Let's move to Boise. Let's move to Reno. Soon it's going to be, you know, the flyover states are going to be the only place left that's affordable. So we have to answer that call, and we have to, you know, let people have their ADUs, right? Let people have those in their backyards. If something's zoned for just like, you know, one house, let's make it zoned for multifamily. Let's make it easier for builders to do density. Let's make that permitting process go quicker.
You mentioned what took so long for Reno to get famous. Really, it's been a lack of marketing on behalf of the cities beyond its own borders.
Yeah.
I've said, you know, one of the reasons I started this program 20 years ago was that I felt that as the power base in the state moved south, that if Northern Nevada didn't market itself to Southern Nevada to say, hey, no offense to Ely, but we're not Ely. We're somewhat bigger than Ely and Elko and these other places. We've seen how their legislators and city council folk have the hardest time going to Carson City and explaining that West Wendover is in Nevada. Reno Sparks is going to be in the same boat if Northern Nevada doesn't market itself to Southern Nevada, but also to these other areas to say, this is a great place, look, you know, we're booming.
Well, it's interesting. I was thinking about that this morning, and I will say this to all the Southern Nevadans that are running for elected office. Washoe and the rules are really, really going to play a huge part in deciding who is going to be the governor, the Secretary of State, the Lieutenant Governor, the Attorney General. There is no doubt that it is going to be a very intense election season. And if you believe it's going to be easy one way or another, you've got blinders on, right? So I feel that even though the shift of power is down south, and I understand that, the real crux of whether we could go red or blue is going to be up north. So we hold that power, we hold that ability, we need to leverage that to make sure that whoever wins understands who we are, what we do, why we're important, and all the money just isn't getting funneled to one place. Because Northern Nevada has a big, big voice, and it's about time that we used it, because it's this election that it's going to get heated.
Let's take another break. We'll be back with Abbi Whitaker after this.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Come visit Design Outdoor's store and backyard to see our wide selection of fire pits, barbecues, and pizza ovens, natural stone water features and fountains, and frost-proof pottery. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
Can't do it. Stupid, like my mom.
We can't do anything at Mommy's because you won't pay child support.
Dad said you cheated, and he's not even sure he's my dad.
Mommy said you left both of us, so she isn't gonna let me see you. I look just like my father.
I'm divorce attorney Marilyn York, and I may represent men, but hate has no gender, only casualties. Please, stop sacrificing your children in your war against your ex.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Abbi Whitaker along with her husband Ty. They run the Abbi Agency. It was interesting to watch the horrible situation, and I don't care, Republican or Democrat, whoever you are, that occurred in Las Vegas in the restaurant where the governor, his wife, and daughter were abused. But I think that I almost uniformly people have said what a terrible thing.
Except for Michelle Fiore.
Michelle Fiore
Yes.
and Joey Gilbert.
Yes.
Not their proudest moments,
No.
but moving past that.
Yes.
It seems to me for a governor that every news story says that he is going to have a tough re-election campaign, despite the fact he's got $8.5 million in the bank. I think that this may have created a level of sympathy for him that may help him in his re-election campaign.
Well, I do think that bigotry and racism and telling someone that they should be hung is just, it's horrible to even think that happens, that people think that way in 2022. And my heart goes out to the governor and his family. I mean, he wants to go out, have lunch with his family, and you get viciously attacked and told that someone wants to hang you. There is no way that isn't going to create some sort of sympathy. And it doesn't matter what political party you are on. To respect someone and to treat them, with dignity should be across the board. And it was devastating. You could see the fear in his face too, I think, because you don't know what the next step is going to be. Are they going to viciously punch you or attack you? I mean, horrible that is happening in this day and age.
It's bizarre, and I'm not necessarily a pro-gun person that you're carrying all the time, but that would have just been a beautiful moment if the governor had been able to whip out a weapon.
Oh, there you go.
And say, make my day.
Well, my husband and I are gun owners, and we definitely.
I got nothing against him.
Hunters. We're hunters, so you want to have somebody to protect your house and everything. Definitely for regulation, though, for sure. I mean, without a doubt. I think that definitely backfired on, whether it was whoever, the person that did that has created a sense of sympathy and understanding for what our elected officials have to go through every day from the fringe sides of all parties, right? I remember when the windows of my office got broken during the riots in Reno. Right. And it was devastating. And I shared a thin blue line flag on Facebook saying, hey, I'm supporting the police today because they are fighting people who are trying to destroy our buildings. That's not Republican or Democrat, right? I mean, I understand there are bad players in every part of every business, of every association, but I also believe that the majority of the people protecting our community are good. But people go to the fringes. And they just go for the jugular. And it is a shame that has now become somewhat socially acceptable on both sides, and that it gets lifted up and praised.
Okay, but we both indulge in social media.
Yes, we do.
You put a lot of commentary on there.
I do.
I'm more posting paella.
Yeah, I like to get it a little boom, boom, boom every on Sunday if I'm bored.
Okay, but here's the question, which is, does this continue to fuel this anger?
Yep, 100%. I think I've definitely tried to, I have a lot of both sides on my social media feed. I come from my husband's family is a very conservative, 6th generation, long-term Nevada family, right? my friends tend to be a little more on the liberal side, especially on the social issues. So I think it brings a lot of good conversation. I definitely will I spend a lot of time moderating that and being like, don't be an beep on either side of it. I think that social media has good and bad things to it. I think we have to learn how to respect each other, how not to call each other names, and how to bring, voices where we can collaborate and meet in the middle. And I do see a lot of that too. Though people have thoughts and feelings on social media and like we should just throw it all away, a lot of good stuff can happen on social media. Without social media right now, I don't know if we would know everything that is going on in the Ukraine and in Russia, because I get all of it from Twitter. I mean, every day I am on my feed, looking at the different hashtags, seeing what is happening and what is going on. And what does that do? That inspires me to give and to donate and become more active and support. So while social media has good parts and bad parts, I also think that it still plays a role in empathy, in philanthropy, and in activism as well.
Yeah, and that's the conundrum, which
is the conundrum.
Like so many other things in life, there's good and there's bad. I just wish we could see a lot more of the good than we do of the other side.
I think that, I wish we could too.
Abbi Whitaker, there is never enough time. We should just do a week with Abbi, and that would be fine with me. Love you too.
Because you're a fellow Brit.
Thank you.
There we go.
There you go. All right, mate, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
We'll be right back.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you. But we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
Serving Our Kids Foundation's mission is to serve homeless, at-risk, and food insecure children in grades K through 8 throughout Southern Nevada. During the pandemic, Serving Our Kids has seen a 42% increase in the number of children served, providing more than 4,500 meals to kids in over 100 schools weekly. Serving Our Kids is powered by community support and volunteers. To learn how you can help, visit servingourkids.org.
Safety. We all think about it. You think about it when he buckles in, when you check your mirrors and put away your phone. RTC thinks about safety too. In fact, we create it. Center turn lanes mean fewer blind spots. Bike lanes keep cyclists and you safe. Roundabouts reduce injury collisions, and all these crosswalks are designed to keep families like yours safe. Safety is your priority, and it's ours too. Every day, in everything we do.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. You can also check our archive going back to 2005 on our website. Again, NevadaNewsmakers.com. We'll see you on the next show.